So after covering some of the best Easter eggs of 2024 in my last video, it's now time to find out which hidden video game details tickled my pickle in 2024. As usual, the only rule here is that the detail must be from a DLC or game that released in 2024. If you think I've missed a detail worthy of making a list of 2024's best, be sure to leave a comment down below, and if we get enough suggestions, I'll make a part 2. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with 2024's Game of the Year. So Astrobot won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. And you know what? I'm not mad about it. I loved Astrobot, so I think it's a worthy winner. But I have to admit that I haven't actually played any of the other nominees. I mean, of course, I've played Elden Ring, but not the DLC, and I really want to try Balatro, but I just haven't got around to it yet. Anyway, Astrobot has a couple of super cute details that I loved, and the first of these details can be seen on the Trunk of Funk level. If you climb on top of the cow, this will happen. So Astro and the cow will take what looks like the coziest nap of all time. The other unique animal interaction can be seen when hopping on top of a turtle. So Astro will have a special surfing animation when on top of the turtle. Come on, you have to admit, these are pretty cute. So from a great game to a not so great game. When I played Funko Fusion at launch, I found it frustrating and lacking any charm. Like zero charm. I know the game's had updates since, and I do have a couple of things that I still need to record, so hopefully the second time's a charm. Anyway, the detail from Funko Fusion is perhaps the only bright spot I found when playing the game, which says a lot. If you jump from a high enough height, this will happen. So your Funko will squish down to size before returning to normal size a few seconds later, which is pretty cool. So one of the surprise games of 2024 was Little Kitty Big City. Who knew a game about a cat doing typical cat things would be such a hit? Now, despite being a cat, there are a lot of places that you aren't allowed to go in Little Kitty Big City, and being caught in those places will see you removed. Take the building site for example, where you can leave tiny paw prints in the wet cement. If you're spotted here, you'll be carried away. However, if you're wearing one of the workers' hard hats, then the foreman will allow you to be on site as you must be part of the team, which I think is really funny. Now, one of my other personal games of the year was the Silent Hill 2 remake. I never played the original, so experiencing the story for the first time was quite the ride, and one that I won't be forgetting anytime soon. I think what makes Silent Hill 2 so good are the subtle hints that the game gives about James's state of mind. And for a perfect example of this, we need to pay a visit to the hospital. As you explore the dark and not always empty hallways of the hospital, you can spot this poster. Reading the poster from our point of view, we can see that it mentions feelings of worthlessness and guilt, and that if you have these feelings, you should seek help. Well, if we take a closer look at the poster, therefore looking at it through James's eyes, then the word guilt has been removed. Now, if you've played Silent Hill 2, then you'll know why this is so cool. And if you haven't played Silent Hill 2, fix that immediately and then come back and watch this video and realise why this is so cool. The other Silent Hill 2 detail to make this list can be seen shortly after meeting up with Maria. After breaking into a hotel room and letting Maria in, she will have something to show you.
Hey, you think I'd look good in this one?
Sure.
Not quite the ringing endorsement, but hey, I'll take it.
So the outfit that Maria is showing James is the outfit the original Maria wore in the original Silent Hill 2, which is a nice throwback. What makes this even cooler is that if you don't comment on the outfit and just leave the room, Maria will have different dialogue for that very scenario.
Hey, you think I'd look good in this one? You know I would. It's a classic.
I love stuff like this. Is it fan service of the highest level? Sure, but it's fan service done right. Now, this year, I was lucky enough to partner with MetaQuest to showcase Batman Arkham Shadow. And just on a personal level, to be asked to work with Meta was a huge moment. It certainly helped that Batman Arkham Shadow was a great game. and I hope this very small detail highlights the thought and care that the developers put into it. Early on in the game, you have to track down Shrike by finding clues in his apartment to open a door hidden behind a bookcase. However, if you're the lazy kind of Batman, you can just look up the code online, which will cause Alfred to say this.
Lucky guess, sir?
Something like that.
Look, I know I've said this before, but I love it when games know you're cheating or using a guide. And instead of preventing it, it gives you a little wink before letting you carry on. Now, most first-person shooters turn friendly fire off because they know how people who play online first-person shooters can be. However, there are certain modes where friendly fire is enabled to add a layer of realism to gunfights. I mean, I don't know if anyone would call Black Ops 6 realistic, but work with me here. You see, when you accidentally shoot an ally in a hardcore mode, the character that you're playing as will be just as annoyed as you are. Here are a few of my favourite examples.
Oh, shit. Oopsie.
Shit, I f***ed up.
What have I done?
Ah, piss, not again. Friendly down!
Why does this one not move anymore?
Friendly down. My life, that was a friendly.
Ah, fuck me, that's one of ours.
Mierda! They stepped into it!
I do not want to point the finger of blame, but it was your fault.
The other Black Ops 6 detail that I wanted to share can be heard at the Rook. The Rook is where the team go in between missions, and if you take the time to explore, you can often hear your teammates talking to each other. Well, my favourite conversation is definitely this.
You're essential, man. Alright, chair or no chair. I know you can't get around the way you used to, but this is strong. Maybe you were Captain America before, and now you're like Professor X.
Who? Get out of my face, man.
Calling Woods Professor X? Marshall is a braver man than me. Now, it doesn't matter how cute a companion or an ally in a game is. There's going to come a time where you try to shoot them. You know, just to see what happens. Well, in Star Wars Outlaws, the developers predicted this very normal and totally not psychotic behaviour. If you aim at Nix and don't pull the trigger, this will happen.
Boom!
So Nix will play dead, which is really cute. Now, if there's one thing that you can rely on, it's the good old-fashioned pause screen. I mean, sure, games like Elden Ring won't pause the game world, which can lead to some really stupid deaths. But most games will let you take a break whenever you like. One such game is Hades II, which lets you pause at any point in the game. Except one. You see, when fighting the Titan of Time, Kronos, if you try to pause, this will happen.
You do not control the flow of time. Not here.
So Kronos will explain that you are not in control of time down here and promptly unpause the game, which is pretty badass. There are multiple lines of dialogue that Kronos can say if you attempt to pause on him, so here are a few of my favourites.
Who exactly do you think you are? I said no. We fight. How very rude of you to even try. No.
Now, translating what it feels like to fire a big-ass machine gun into controller vibrations is kind of hard. I mean, there's only so much vibrating the controller can do before it becomes annoying. So how else can a developer hammer home what it's like to fire hundreds of bullets downrange without letting go of the trigger? Well, the Helldiver II developers came up with a solution. If you hold the trigger down on the LMG for long enough, eventually your Helldiver will do this.
Get some!
Now, most games don't want you to refund them. I mean, that's pretty obvious. The whole point is that you buy their game and play their game until you want to buy another one of their games. The thing is, what if the game thinks that you aren't quite smart enough to play it, and actually tells you to refund it? Well, that's what happens in Cryptmaster. When you approach the game's first enemy, you're supposed to type the word hit, so that you can gain your first skill. If you ignore the helpful advice and continue forward with 0 skill, this will happen.
Stop. Okay.
I think we need a word. In fact, I think I'm going to have to crack the fourth wall just a little. Frankly, I don't think this is the game for you. All you had to do was type the word hit. I hinted, and then I outright instructed you. I even used 2 separate tooltips. What I'm saying is, it's not my fault if you didn't get it. Now, I do hope you haven't been playing for more than 2 hours, have you? Good. Well, what you need to do is select the game in your Steam library, and then click on Support. There will be an option to ask for a refund, and you should select "The game is too hard" as your reason for wishing to do so. In the box for additional comments, you might also like to add "I'm an imbecile" or words to that effect. Hurry though, time is ticking. Now, do you want one more try? Well then, it seems we have to part ways. Goodbye.
I mean, if a game is actively telling you to get your money back, perhaps it isn't the game for you. So I love it when a game lets you interact with pretty much everything in the game world. If I can turn a light on, I'll do it. If I can pick up a useless magazine, I'll do it. It's just fun to interact with things. Well, in Salako, you can take this interaction one step further. If you head to any of the game's bathrooms, you can flush things down the toilet, which is really cool. Well, if you repeatedly flush stuff down the toilet, this will happen. So eventually the toilet will blow up. It's really clever. Now, despite being a really disappointing game, the idea that you have to kill the Justice League in the Suicide Squad game wasn't a bad one. I mean, usually we're the ones in control of overpowered heroes, so for the shoe to be on the other foot for once could have been cool. An example of this can be seen when fighting the Flash. Of course, the Flash is fast, very fast. So fast in fact that if you attempt this fight with Boomerang, this will happen. Whoops. So the Flash will remove Boomerang's clothes, revealing Flash-branded underwear, which means either Captain Boomerang is a secret Flash fan or the Flash changed Boomerang's underwear. I'll let you guys decide which one you think is more likely. So that's it. If I'm honest, I think the hidden details in games outshone Easter eggs this year. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, then a like is really appreciated, and if you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing as we slowly but surely approach 1 million subscribers. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.